not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And I don't like repeating myself, but I guess I'll say it again, that black people are the easiest people to criticize in the whole entire universe. Ever since blacks have gotten off that slave boat, we've been told that we're nothing, we're stupid, we won't amount to anything, and so forth. And therefore, through time, we've become somewhat immune to these, vicious remarks. And it's been embedded into a lot of blacks to believe this way, even to this day. And that blacks ultimately seek the affection of our former oppressors. Or you can say there's when we're going to go into this concept of crime, black people commit a disproportionate number of crime, compared to white people and so forth. The thing is, when I hear this black chastisement, I would rather listen to it from white people than from black people, because me going to a predominantly white schools, I've had this discussion with white people face to face. A lot of the black men, the bootlickers, the black chastisers, they pretty much just get there. They just pretty much graft off what white people have been saying, but somehow this deems them smart. I understand that the bar for intellectualism is pretty low in the black corner of YouTube. All you have to do is criticize blacks, be very heavy-handed with your criticism, and they'll deem you as somebody that's intelligent or somebody that's speaking the truth. This whole thing about the truth can be defined and redefined. The truth at this point has just become nothing but a word. Just because you say that this is the truth that black people can accept, it doesn't really give your presentation much credibility in my eyes. But this is a subject matter I tackled before, but we're going to go into it. As they say, black people commit a disproportionate number of crime in ratio to our population, and I've stated this, yes, but black people have been disproportionately disenfranchised, ostracized, galvanized, castrated, and so forth. You would think that an intelligent mind would say, well, one thing leads to another, but yeah, I guess black people have been so mind probed and so messed up, through the ages or whatever, they don't know what to believe. They'll believe anything except for something that is just simple logic. They try to find, they're looking for, are they looking for any sort of answer to appease, white people, and so forth, and they feel that this is the right answer. This is the right way of thinking if you can get your former oppressors, conquerors or whatever, to agree with you. That makes no fucking sense. These guys have the intellect of a fucking guinea pig. But the thing is, we're going to go into shoot 'em up, bang bang. Black people murder one another at the same rate of white people, or even more, even though we represent 13% of the population. White people represent 65% of the population. Ooh, this calls for a state of emergency. But when I look at the black dudes, with their guns blazing, you have to ask, well, are they gangbangers? Are they drug dealers? I'm like, a lot of that could be as an occupational hazard, and so forth. But I'm like, things are, falling, right in line. I don't even really see what the problem is or what the discussion is. I said this before, that black people tried to play a fair game. We did. I don't think nobody can object to that. They can't object that there was a time when black people weren't committing any crimes, and tried to build their families up. So then what happened? People want to leave out, it's like fill in the blanks. They want to keep, some blanks they just want to keep unmarked and not touch. It's like a big book where you want to just skip through chapters. You skip through some chapters and you get to the end and you're like, oh wow, and so forth. Now, but the fact remains that more black people will die from heart disease than gunshot wounds. More black people will die from vehicular accidents than gunshot wounds. I'm like, that's real. Now, and I also would like to see the stats of, let's say, law-abiding citizens, legal gun owners. What are the criminal, I'm like, well, what are the stats of black people who are law-abiding criminals who somehow got pushed over the edge, that commit murder, maybe murder of passion, or maybe, corruption and so forth. I can't really put it in words, but let's put it this way: of a legal black gun carrier, what are the stats of him shooting down innocent person that really didn't pose an imminent threat to him, as if a white legal gun owner who shoots down a kid who's not an imminent threat. So therefore, when it comes to stats, we can go all over the place with it. Now, but as far as black people inside the penal system, the thing is, here in America, if you go anywhere, any neighborhood, and if you scratch hard enough, you're gonna find a criminal. You're gonna find somebody that's doing something that they're not supposed to. See, with black people, you got all these people, scratching, so of course they're gonna find nothing. For instance, they say that blacks get pulled over 3 to 4 times more than whites, and so therefore a white person riding dirty with a suspended license, or marijuana, or with meth on his person, is less likely to have the flashlight put in his face. You know what I'm saying? Those are the facts. And these are things that we have to take in consideration. But when you criticize blacks, it's almost like there's a playbook to criticize blacks. Like you just go by this playbook and that's it. People wouldn't even give a dash of originality. You got to build up your own communities. You know what I mean? Stop blaming the white man. Black people kill each other at a rate, such and such, and look at the way more so than white people. And a lot of people say this, and they feel that they want us to believe that they're being genuine. I'm like, no. Now the thing is, when it comes to the black community, I'm all for thwarting crime. I'm all for Crime Stoppers and keeping a watch out, dialing 1-800-TIPS and things of that nature. But the thing is, when it comes to the criminality of black people, you're dealing with a criminal justice system and a police force that have proven to be insolent and ineffective. I'm like, we have a rogue military guising itself as a police force, and then you figure all the black men that was unlawfully imprisoned. I'm hearing about stories all the time of men being let out. They've been in jail for 20 years or whatever, and for rape and murder, and they've been found, their sentence or whatever, or their charge have been completely expunged because it turns out that they're innocent. And also, going back into the 1950s, 1940s, 1930s, the time where the white man used to roam through the the black communities on horseback, like the headless horsemen or some shit, wearing donning their white robes. There was a large proportion of us that was in jail. Matter of fact, ever since black people got off that slave boat, we was in jail. We technically never found a way to get out. And that's the thing. And also, when it comes to the black crime stats, we do have to analyze what is black. Now, bear in mind, white people have the power to determine what is white and what is black. So therefore, a lot of mulattoes, or quadroons or octoroons, are going to be tossed over to the black pal. Basically, the black community is wide open. The black community is wide open economically, socially, and biologically. You know what I'm saying? For some of you slower people, it's going to be hard for you to keep up with that one. But the thing is, the mulatto population, the mixed population, is the fastest growing demographic in this country. And most people say, oh, even if you get rid of the mixed people, black people, you still got a high crime rate or whatever. But the thing is, when slavery ended, 10% of our population was considered mixed. And it's not just about if you have a black father or a black mother. A lot of black people have white people in our bloodline. Somewhere down the line are Indian. And the thing is, with conquerors, one thing they know what to do is that they drop their seed amongst the people to create some kind of confusion. Now, my thing is, if a mixed person or whatever wants to consider them black, fine. Being black is a social construct. I understand that mulattoes and mixed people, they may face racial discrimination. A lot of them did. And due to this day, but still, if you have two mixed people that shoot each other, it's still going to be labeled black on black crime, even though half their biological makeup is a white person. White people ain't going to claim that. They're going to push that over to the black people, pal, and say, hey, you got this. This is part of your stats. So there's a whole lot of things we have to equate here. We got to look at all variables here. But people are just breaking things down into simple terms or whatever. And then when it comes to crime, why they don't worry about white people committing crime, and therefore people act as, white people's criminal nature don't affect black people. And my thing is sometimes it's not about quantity, but it's about quality. I'm like, white people commit the type of crimes that are in the history books, and as much as we ignore it, when you look at someone like Adam Lanza, yeah, some black people got shot. Matter of fact, in some of these mass murders, black people are the victims, so we're just going to ignore that. Some of these suburban white boys out here are ticking time bombs. And then when you figure, the type of stuff, the magnitude of a lot of white criminals, whether it be mass murders, cutting people's head off, putting it in a refrigerator, and the assassination of an American president or whatever. Even if I understand that a lot of the people who go down for assassinations aren't the ones that do it, it's a conspiracy, but still most likely there are white people behind it. So therefore, an intelligent man will not ignore that. The black community is still under the supervision of whites. I'm like, there's nothing. I'm like, if we take the law into our own hands, we'll get in trouble. Like, I feel like vigilante squads are more effective than the police. But sometimes if you go around here and patrol your own neighborhoods or whatever, or try to take laws in our own hands because we know the police are redundant, then you can also get trapped in the law. And then when you rely on the cops and say, hey, I'm gonna rely on you people, then I'm gonna cooperate with the cops, you find out the cops are inadequate. So it's kind of like, as I said before, black people are